Pathmark is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmark qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmark to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmark.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have John Ikes from Crowe Dunleavy, Director of Marketing and Business Development. How are you doing today, John?
I'm great, Ernesto. I really appreciate you having me.
No, it's great to finally connect with you. And well, let's get what the listeners are tuning in for. In your own words, can you tell us a little bit more about the firm?
Sure. Crowe Dunleavy is a corporate law firm based in Oklahoma City. We've been around for over 120 years. Matter of fact, we're older than the statehood of Oklahoma is. And we have 4 offices and 130 attorneys. Our offices are in Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Dallas, and Houston.
Awesome. Great to hear that. I mean, that's a lot of years to be in business. So, I mean, you guys are doing something right?
We sure hope so.
Yeah, definitely. And and so that way our listeners who are tuned in could get a good understanding of the firm. What are some of the key problems, cases that you guys like to solve?
Sure. We're primarily a litigation firm and a labor and employment firm in the sense of where our practice focus is, but our industry focus is in healthcare, financial services, and of course, energy and environmental. Very similar to, what you would find in other law firms within the 2 states, because those are the main industries that support the local economies.
Definitely. All right. Awesome. And I mean, you did mention some of those verticals, the healthcare, the finance, energy, environmental, natural resources. But is that your primary ICPs that you guys like to go for, or is there another ones that you guys like going for as well?
Well, and we do have a kind of a robust aviation practice. One of the things I didn't know when I joined the firm was that the FAA was founded in Oklahoma City. So there's a great deal of aviation here in Oklahoma, and we have a very robust aviation practice as it relates to buying and selling aircraft and the tax issues that come with that.
Okay, interesting. All right. And so then how would somebody then usually find out about Crowe and Dunleavy? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
I mean, kind of for us, it's some keywords that came out of some research that we recently had done for us. Number 1 is that we're a trusted law firm. Number 2 is that we're an authentic law firm. And number 3, we're collaborative. And the 4th one is that we are, comprehensive in our legal services. And I think that's between the history of us being around for 120 years and then the size of the firm and then the practice areas that we're known for. Those are all areas where I think, the more educated consumers of our services are familiar with us. What we try to do organizationally is capitalize on the relationships that we have either with referral sources or current clients to either broaden our penetration with our current clients and cross-sell serve them, but also to help open doors to other opportunities within similar prospects and clients. Because as you might suspect, in-house counsel talk amongst themselves and they tell each other, hey, this firm's doing a really good job for us, or this firm really handled this piece of work for us really well. We would advocate for them. We would recommend them to you. That word of mouth is really powerful. And to be able to capture that and use that in our business development arsenal is really important.
All right. Awesome to hear that. And so that way our listeners who are tuned in could go ahead and visit you. You can always check them out at crowedunleavy.com. What role does the website then play for client acquisition, John?
Well, and a lot of it is people will, as I said, will be recommended to us. And then the website is an important tool for them to, number 1, understand who the attorneys are within the practices, but also understand the practices themselves. And that's from a pure client development standpoint. one of the things that we found for our website is from a recruiting standpoint, whether it be laterals from other law firms or the young lawyers coming out of law school looking to land at a law firm, how we present ourselves via our website is very, very important to both those audiences.
Definitely important. And on that note, then, is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to your listeners as far as some website lead generation?
Yeah, I think testimonials are huge. I mean, whether they're video testimonials or just a quotation on your practice pages from, someone well-respected within that industry or well-respected within the legal sphere, either locally or nationally. That's one of the things for us is, we pride ourselves on taking care of the mom and pop shops that are out there, but also servicing the Fortune 100 companies. So, we want to make sure that we're delighting even those that, have a $1 million business versus a $100 million business.
Definitely important, right? Clients are clients. I mean, you got to take care of them. Like you mentioned, right? Millions of mom and shops, they're all clients and they got to get their attention. So great to hear that from you, John. And well, let's switch gears a little bit then, John, and let's talk about you as a leader. You being the Director of Marketing and Business Development there for Crowe Dunleavy. Is there, what do you tend to do on your daily basis? What are some key tasks you'd like to work on?
I mean, for me, and I'm privileged. I came on board back in July of last year, and I have a remarkable team here. I have Will Hoke, who is the partner, if you will, in charge of marketing and business development. I have Tyler Elliott and Colleen Trammell, who are both a part of my team, and they are, extraordinary in the amount of work that they are able to churn out and do very well. And then I have another person named Julie who does an outstanding job kind of on the back end of things, and a lot of our awards and nominations. And without that team, I could not be, in a position to lead the way I do. But from a day in, day out basis, a lot of it is just creating greater awareness. I can't tell you, Ernesto, how many times we've had clients say, "Oh, we didn't know you could do that kind of work. We didn't know that you could, take on this kind of pain that we're having within our company." And part of that is just, number one, as a marketing and business development professional, is making sure that information is getting out there externally, but also having cross-pollination internally so that, the labor and employment folks know what's happening in litigations, that the cybersecurity attorneys understand what's happening from a healthcare standpoint. I mean, we've got to be able to talk internally and understand how those roles overlap and where there's opportunities to cross-serve our clients.
Definitely important. All right. And as far as some marketing strategies, right? Is there a channel that you like to go through? I mean, there's a lot of overwhelming information out there, but is there one where you like to go and get some new information, John?
Yeah, I mean, for me, one of the things that we're hoping to do or going to do this year, we've already launched, Women in Banking, FinTech, and Finance, and we have that event coming up. And then we also are in the process of launching In-House Oklahoma. And these are direct communication channels to our target audiences that we feel, number one, benefit us in the sense of relationship building, but these initiatives are created to help the individuals under each one of those umbrellas. The Women in Banking, FinTechs, and Finance gives women within the financial services industry a platform to talk about issues confronting women, glass ceiling, sexual harassment, some of the things that unfortunately women have to go through even today. But also talks about the other things that are happening within their industry that may help them achieve more, accomplish more, and a lot of that just, again, through relationship building. The In-House Oklahoma piece, many organizations out there will do events where they try to attract in-house counsel. And those events tend to have a volume of service providers. And we're very proud about our In-House Oklahoma initiative because we're the only service provider that is going to be a part of that. So when those in-house people come and attend, they're with their colleagues, their in-house colleagues at other companies. And it gives them an environment to be safe, and they don't have to feel like they're being sold to. They really get to deal with the issues that them as in-house counsel are dealing with. And I I think those are two areas that are really going to help Crowe Dunleavy shine in 2024.
Definitely. All right. Awesome to hear that from you, John. And well, let's switch next then to our next section here, John, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for them?
I'm ready if you are.
All right, perfect. First off, John, what is the last book that you read?
It was The Game-Changing Attorney by Michael Mogill. I would recommend it to any attorney or legal business development professional.
All right, perfect. Great read there. Next up is, what is one single thing that the firm is focused on at the moment the most?
Client service. I really think that, the best cultivation tool you have as a law firm is doing really good work for your existing clients, because that opens the door to other practice areas within that client and opens the door to opportunities with prospects, because in-house counsel talks to in-house counsel. So if you're doing good work, they're going to tell their friends. It's kind of like that old Fabergé commercial. They're going to tell two friends and they're going to tell two friends. So client service is huge for us.
Definitely important. All right. Great to hear that. Next up is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Ooh, good question. I think for me, it's always been just let the technology work. I think we're spoiled these days because technology does so much for us. And when technology isn't working, it kind of sends you into a panic mode, because you're used to being efficient. You're used to having the luxury of what the technology can provide. It's interesting. One of the things that I was challenged with when I came on back in July was our firm did not have a CRM. And by November, we had a CRM, and we're getting ready to roll it out into the firm during the next couple of weeks. And it's been, a lift, if you will, but the process has been an important one, because a firm our size, you would expect to have had a CRM in place, and it's really going to make life, what we talked about earlier, really much simpler, because technology can do that.
Definitely. And I mean, that's important, critical. I mean, getting new clients, keeping up with them, that's great to hear from you. Next up then is, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
Ooh, good question again. Probably kind of like the client alerts and the invites, just being able to make sure that we have a consistent look and a consistent message, not only not necessarily in the contact information and where it's being hosted and those kinds of things, but I think for me, having a consistent look and a consistent feel, so that when people receive something from Crowe Dunleavy, they don't even have to read it. They go, "Oh, that's from Crowe Dunleavy. We know them. We recognize that messaging. We recognize that look." And I think that's an important part of us standing out in the market, is being able to have that brand recognition, immediate brand recognition.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Great to hear that. And well, lastly, John, what is that one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
Good question again. It's funny. I was a constitutional law minor in college, and if you would have told me I was going to be working for law firms as I got older, I probably would have laughed at you. Don't get me wrong. I've been working within law firms for 20 years now, and I absolutely love working with smart people, and that's what you get when you work with lawyers. But I guess my one piece of advice would be read more. I mean, just absorb more. Understand your environment, understand the people around you. Don't be afraid to take a few minutes every day and read something that maybe you wouldn't read otherwise. Watch a TED Talk. Do some things that kind of help bring you outside of the day-to-day and help you have a larger view of where there's opportunities, where there may be opportunities for success, and where there may be opportunities for you personally.
Definitely. All right. Awesome to hear that, John. And well, we are coming to the end of today's episode, John, but before we do end, I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about the firm?
I think the thing that everyone needs to remember, Crowe Dunleavy is an amazing firm with an amazing set of attorneys. We are able to take on issues that companies across the board of every size can confront. And one of the things that we really value ourselves on is being a business advisor, not just handling legal work. We really want to come in and make your business successful at all levels. And we don't just do that through our legal work. We do it through our consultative relationship that we have with our clients.
Definitely. All right. Awesome to hear that from you. And well, John, I do want to thank you for being on with us today, as well as to our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I mentioned, you could always check John and the firm out at CroweDunleavy.com. John, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to our next episode at Pat Monk Presents. Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you, Ernesto.